Hi everyone, and once again welcome back to Travel Confidently. Today's video I'm specifically making for Indian citizens and OCI card holders who are planning to fly to Delhi from UK between now and 31st of January and are worried about the confusing rules. So if you are one of them, then this video is for you. I will be covering all the details from my personal experience of flying to Delhi on 19th of January. If you haven't subscribed to my channel already, then please do subscribe to my channel, hit the bell notification and watch this video till the end, and I will be covering pretty much most of the questions which you might have in your head. First step in the journey to India would be to get yourself tested within 72 hours before boarding the plane. If you're looking for recommendations on where to test, please comment below and I can share my experience of COVID test in England with you. Once you have your results, and I'm hoping you will be negative, fill in the self-declaration form on Air Suvidha. I've provided the link in the description box below. Along with this, there is one more form which my airline have asked me to fill out. I think all airlines flying these days to Delhi have this requirement. I was told that this requirement was from Indian government, and if I don't fill out this second form, then I wouldn't be allowed to board the plane. So make sure whatever directions you receive from your airline, you pay special attention to the forms which you have to fill out before boarding the plane. And don't complain if you have to fill out the same information again and again and again. Before flying out, I saw some posts on Facebook where people were concerned if anybody would ask, is their travel essential? So to answer this question, no one asked me any question about my travel plan, and I was able to check in as normally you would do before COVID time. I think every flight to Delhi at the moment is flying from Terminal 2, but please comment below if you think that's not the case. When we arrived at Heathrow, we were guided to the check-in counter. Everything was smooth like normal, just took a little while. Did we experience social distancing? Well, partially depends from person to person, but it wasn't that bad. After we dropped our luggage, check-in was normal, except that this time we have to remove our shoes. After going up and down numerous times on Terminal 2, we finally reached the boarding gate. They did a thermal scan and checked our negative RT-PCR reports and allowed us to board the flight. My flight experience was amazingly good. If you want to know my flight experience from Heathrow to Delhi, please do comment below, and either I will make a video or I can tell you how good or bad it was and whether you should choose this airline over other. The fun begins when you land in Delhi. You might have forgotten how Indian bureaucratic system works, but don't worry, they will refresh your memory well in no time. Plane was deboarded maintaining social distancing, which was good. The moment you enter the terminal building, you will be escorted by 3-4 people to join a line. In this line, you will be asked to keep your boarding pass handy and your Air Suvidha form handy, even though they wouldn't check your Air Suvidha form. Let's name this as checkpoint 1. Here they will stamp your boarding pass that you need to go under quarantine and will hand it over a form for you to fill in. Please comment below if you need a soft copy of this form and I will happily share it with you. And so take a printout, fill it already before you deboard the plane, and that will speed up the process for you. From checkpoint 1, you will walk towards checkpoint 2 where there will be a long queue. We were put in the front as we were traveling with kids. Thank you to the officials who helped me out. If I excuse a few, the staff at Delhi airport is very friendly and they do understand that rules are not clear and they try to understand your situation as well. It will be frustrating, I bet, at times, but please try to understand they are doing their job and have nothing personal against you. They are also following the poorly defined rules as you are. At checkpoint 2, you will see many officials sitting on a table asking for the form which you have filled after checkpoint 1. They will take your passport and will give you a photocopy of your passport plus half section of the form which you just submitted. From here, you walk for about a minute or two and you will see a lounge on your left where you have to pay for your COVID test. You can either pay by cash or you can pay by card as well, so that's absolutely fine. But I would strongly recommend that you pay in advance from UK. Even if you miss your slot, they will accommodate you. Well, after all, you would be in India and they are flexible. I also saw one guy trying to pay for the COVID test in pounds. If you are planning to do so, I wouldn't advise it because the conversion rate they will give you is very low. They have set it to 85 rupees for 1 pound. So you would end up paying more if you are trying to pay in pound. At this point, I observed that how poorly defined the rules are. I asked if COVID test will be needed for 1 year old, and the official said yes, it will be done for everybody. I paid for the test, which is 3400 rupees for adults, and for 1 year old it was 800 rupees. You walk about 20 steps from this payment desk to another desk who will give you barcodes for your COVID test sample, and they said test will not be performed for 1 year old. After a couple of phone calls between these two desks, they finally said to me that चलो एक साल के बच्चे का भी टेस्ट कर लेते हैं, as if it's not clear and they didn't want it to refund me money. So I didn't get really a confidence feeling between these two counters. Once you have received your barcode, go to the right hand side where you will see 4 booths where you can just go and give your COVID test. After you have given your sample, they will direct you to the lounge. On your COVID test slips, you will see a number. That number is basically a seat number where you have to sit in the lounge. The 3400 rupees which you have paid includes coffee and a meal as well. You have the option of choosing a vegetarian or non-vegetarian meal. In the lounge, social distancing was practiced relatively well, so that's a thumbs up to the Delhi government. Please comment me below if you want to know what was included in the meal and whether that was sufficient for an adult or not. I want to thank the lounge staff because I asked them if they could warm up the milk for my baby. They did it to the really right temperature and they were really friendly, and in the end they actually cleaned the bottle and boiled or sanitized the bottle for me as well. So thank you staff. Waiting in the lounge was not that bad because first we were mentally prepared and there were plenty of space in the lounge. The mess comes when the results arrived. In my case, we gave the samples at about 1:30 at Delhi time, and we received our results between 4:30 and 5. One lady on our flight was tested positive, which scared everyone. No one was sure if the whole flight would be going under quarantine or it will be only a part of it. I don't think they quarantined anyone else, they just only took that lady to the hospital and sanitized wherever she was sitting or was present in that lounge. When results came, an official came with all the passports in his hands and started to announce names of the passengers. I didn't like the way it was operated as everyone surrounded that person, throwing social distancing deep down into the bin. Only at this point they asked whether you have a connecting flight or hotel quarantine. There is an option for the government quarantine facility as well, but no one seems to mentioning it unless you ask so. I had a connecting flight to Chandigarh from Terminal 2. There were many passengers like me, and they asked us to follow a line. I'm not sure about the process for those who opted for hotel or government quarantine facility. They grouped the passengers in group of 15 and 16, escorted by the CRPF staff and I think police officials, and took us to the immigration. You will get a feeling of a prisoner rather than a celebrity or anyone else. Immigration was normal, apart from the only difference was that the counter were separate for the passengers arriving from the UK. If you don't have an Indian passport, then don't forget to fill a form which you have to hand it over to the immigration officer, otherwise it would delay the process. Once immigration is done, your baggages would be kept on a side on the side of the conveyor belt. Find yours and collect it. One really important rule which is not stipulated anywhere else on the internet is that if you have a domestic flight and are getting worried of your check-in luggage, then there would be an option for you to hand over your luggage, check-in luggage I mean, to your friends or family at Terminal 3 arrivals, gate number 5, pillar number 16. Basically, you can ask someone to come to airport in this mentioned location, hand over the luggage and then proceed in the same line with government officials for check-in at the domestic airport. Bear in mind that your passports will not be with you at this time, it will still be with the officials. This rule worked out in my favor, so I can't complain, but how stupid it is. You can go out, meet people, but you can't go home because you are a risk. If you understand the logic, then please do comment below or do let me know what you think about this rule. The process after you get your COVID results and hand over your baggage was a mess. I wanted to know when to call my friend so as he has enough time to arrive on airport, but that was not given to me. On Terminal 3 they mentioned that your friend can come at Terminal 3 Gate 5 Pillar 16. But when I reached there, some people had a flight from Terminal 2 and they were getting late. So the officials changed their mind and asked everyone to hand over their luggage at Terminal 2 departures. Let alone, they didn't even know which one is departure, which one is arrival. No complaint, they were helpful, but they had me stand on the arrivals rather than the departures, whereas my friend was waiting for me on the departures. So that was a complete disconnect. At Terminal 2 departures, your tickets for further travel would be checked and your passports will still be with the officials. It's only just before you are about to check in at domestic airport, your passports will be given to you and they will make sure you have checked in into your flight. Coming from Terminal 3 to Terminal 2, you will be shocked to see the difference in the quality and the experience. I literally got the feeling of a railway station there, but that could be just me. Flight to Chandigarh was only 1 hour long and it was okay. I was amazed when I arrived on Chandigarh. There was literally just one CRPF person on the whole airport. There was no immigration or anything like that. You just walked out of the plane and go out of the airport. It's that easy. Once you are out of Chandigarh airport, I believe the rules are that whichever state you are going to, you have to follow that state quarantine rules. If you think I'm wrong, then please do comment below and correct me wherever I have made a mistake. I do receive about 3 or 4 calls every day about asking for my health and my family's health from Delhi. But nobody has come to my home yet, but that might change. I'm just into like a day 3 of my quarantine. I hope you have find my video helpful, and if you have any questions, please do comment below and I'll do my best to help you out. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, then please do subscribe to my channel for future videos. And don't forget to press the bell icon so you don't miss any videos which I will make in future. Last but not the least, stay safe and happy traveling.